I'm in agreement with what people are saying.
Ooh.
My big thing is calling this the Great Wait. I just came up with that.
Like
Probably somebody else came up with it first, but I'm going to say I did. And the top line, market uncertainty has caused companies to pause investment. And I think that's true. We've lost deals, or deals have gone away because we're just not doing anything right now. GDP, inflation, interest rates, confidence, and unemployment. I'll talk through all these in a minute. And the bottom line is companies are waiting to see how the economy develops before acting. On the left, this was Q1 of 2025. The Atlanta Fed estimated contraction. And truly, the GDP did contract in Q1, which it doesn't happen very frequently in the United States. And now what they're showing is, oh my gosh, there's going to be tremendous growth. There's the forecast of like 4%. And this actually doesn't make sense. How could you have these things bouncing around so much? And there's a pretty simple explanation. On the top, this is Q1 2025. Imports were greater than exports. When the United States is importing a lot, that means its GDP is negative because it's bringing things in, it's not sending them out. Why was it negative? Well, people are pretty smart. They saw these tariffs coming. They imported a lot more ahead of tariffs. Now what we're seeing in Q2 2025 is a bit of a reversal. Now we're exporting more than we're importing. And your inventories are shrinking as you're working through your backlog of stuff. So the other problem about uncertainty is, here's a different estimate by the Federal Reserve. These guys, the New York branch, thinks that things will be coming in at about 2.5% for GDP growth for Q2 in 2025.
So Dan, see, one thing I've been hearing is that consumer spending has been misleading at this point, that people spent a lot of money in Q2 in anticipation of prices going up. Are you seeing that kind of impact?
Yeah, you're seeing that. It's a forward buy thing. I know things will be expensive in the future, so I spend today, so I expect weakness. Long term, this is from the Federal Reserve. They still think that the GDP will grow 1.5% to 2% over time, which this is actually a reduction. It was, if I looked at this time last year, they were thinking closer to 3%.
Yeah, when they start talking about 2 years down the road, I just roll my eyes because it's like, their guess is as good as my guess.
It's a fair point. So getting into the inflation and interest rates, the crazy thing, the inflation rate is actually slowing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's counterintuitive compared to the tariff stuff, right? Because these tariffs should raise prices. And the whole conceit of this is right here. Inflation calculations are based on what already happened. The tariffs were only applied for like the blink of an eye. So tariff-related inflation hasn't happened yet.
Dan, do you think that might have also to do with the fact that since we have such a incredible growth on inflation, right, after 2020, the prices haven't necessarily come down to those pre-2020 levels?
I think it's all this, actual transactions. People, we talked about consumer expenditures, people they're buying what they need to buy and then they stop buying other things. The forecast for PCE is slightly above 2%. Consumer sentiment is trending downward. I find this metric to be subjective and highly politicized. This is a how do you feel type of question. The dotted line is, that's everybody. And in aggregate, people think it's coming down, but Democrats think it's going way down. Republicans think, oh, this is great. It's going way up. So there's just some, I want my team to win happening here. Manufacturing confidence has fallen after a recent spike after the election said, hey, we're going to get it all. It's going to be all good. But now when the rubber's meeting the road, manufacturers aren't feeling so good. This is a short timeline. The other thing is unemployment. It's at 4.2%, which is actually, that's the blue line here. That's pretty low by historical standards. Labor force participation in this teal line is down. That means people are sitting on the sidelines or are discouraged from working or can't find employment or have been replaced by AI. Which leads me to the last slide. The most educated employees have the worst expectations about unemployment over the next year. People with college degrees are really negative on if they're going to have a job next year. I don't know if this is politics, because there's a correlation between whatever, or AI. So anyway, that's what's happening.
Let's pull them out in 6 months and see what happened. That'll be the fun.
Right.